I was totally going to do this review entirely in rhyme, but Mitch Santona beat me to it. Talk about a really good figure for a really, really insufferable character. If anyone was the Scrappy-Doo of Transformers, it was Wheelie. He spoke nothing but rhymes. His dialogue was always terrible. He was just so annoying. He was one of the reasons why so many people hate the third season of the original Transformers series, and one of the worst parts about the original animated movie. And yet they give him a deluxe class figure in the Generations line. I won't ever understand that. However, this figure, which being much larger than the original Wheelie in terms of scale, is almost a reimagining of the character, really kind of does it for me. I kind of enjoy this guy. He is a repaint of Generations Jazz, as you can see, which I have not done Generations Jazz yet. I have decided to start with a repaint. I'm not entirely sure why, honestly, but I have. He does not roll, and I will show you why. Because he comes with a weapon that is meant to be stored in those peg holes right in there. Yet if you store it in those peg holes, he will not roll because it literally comes down. I will show you. Well past the wheel. Look at that. That is terrible. But without it, he rolls pretty well. There's not a whole lot to say about the vehicle mode. He looks like Jazz, an orange painted Jazz, but as you can see, his colors are really cool. His colors are pretty freaking cool. Zooming in, you can see a nice blue here, nice yellow on the headlights, a couple different colors of orange, clear windows. He actually has painted taillights, very nice. Overall, a very good looking figure. There are only a few issues I have here. You can see because the paint is orange, and orange is hard to cover stuff with. The paint up here is so thick, you can actually feel where it kind of bubbles in on itself. It's that thick, and that does frustrate me. Also, if we get in real close here on the blue, right out of the package this was here, there is some discolorization here and some scratching here. But honestly, I'm not all that worried about it because as cool as the vehicle mode is, it is the robot mode of this guy that is really stand out. So to start the transformation, we're going to come down here and we are going to lift his arms up. That just frees up a little bit of space for us. Come around, open the doors, which kind of starts the process for us. Separate this bit here from the various places it connects so that it is loose on this double hinge. Next we're going to come up here and we are going to split this and bring out his arms. Now we're going to come back here and split his legs, which allows us to... I'm going to mess something up, I know I am. Yep, already messing stuff up. There we go. Bring out his foot. Bring down his leg. As you can see, bring out his foot. Bring down his leg. Now coming back up to the top, we're going to bring his torso down, rotate his arms into place, you know what this means, guys. When I finally do review Jazz, I don't have to show the transformation now. Anyway though, here we have Generations Wheelie in robot mode. And this guy just looks fantastic. I love the way this guy looks. Zooming in, let's take a look at the head sculpt, which, as far as I'm concerned, is the highlight of this figure. If it will focus for me. That is just the most G1-y head sculpt I've seen on a Transformer in a long time. And it looks like Wheelie. Well, it looks like Wheelie if he were 20-something years old instead of, like, 5. And I love it. The paint's good. Bringing it into the light a little bit. You can see great silver paint, great orange paint, blue painted eyes, and even a blue painted stripe kind of up there as a crest. And the paint's pretty good. The paint in the vehicle mode was a little hit and miss, but the paint that we see here in robot mode tends to be a lot better because we are getting all the cleanest parts of the vehicle mode in the robot mode. Show the legs a little bit. We've got some good molded detail in the legs, though I'm not sure why it's 2 colors here. That throws me off a little bit. Got some nice vents in his legs, which we also see on characters like Optimus Prime. As for articulation, this guy has fantastic articulation for such a G1-y looking figure. Oops. We've got a swivel here, an elbow, a ball joint at the shoulder. No waist articulation, but we do have full hip articulation, a thigh swivel, some foot articulation, and a very nice knee. And the head is on a ball joint, and we'll do a full 360. This guy, I don't know how to describe exactly how I feel about this guy. He uses the Jazz mold from Generations, as I already mentioned. And no part of me ever would have expected to like this character with Jazz's body. I just didn't expect it, and it blows me away that I enjoy this figure as much as I do. However, I do have a few issues with him, and I'm going to talk about that now. First of all, Jazz, if you don't know about the Generations Jazz, has speakers in his doors, just like the character, and completely dropped that. They are on these standard clips, and what they do, if I can get this back on here for you, is the window actually rotates around, and then you can pose these into place however you want them. And that is a very Jazz feature. It's not a Wheelie feature. And it bothers me that they left that feature in. It really does. I don't know why, specifically, because you can always just hide them away. But it bothers me. Also, you may have noticed a few times that his torso likes to flop around. That is another issue I have with his mold in general. It tends to do that a lot, and I find it annoying. Also, I mentioned he has a weapon. Well, if you don't know, guys, Wheelie's weapon in the series was a slingshot. And that's what he gets here. Yes, he has a laser slingshot rather than a gun. While that's cool as a novelty type of thing, practically it's kind of stupid. And while you could argue that he can hold it this way and it is a gun, no, it's not. It's a slingshot on its side. However, surprisingly, if his torso will stay down, once you get him posed with the slingshot, kind of get his hand up there so it looks like he's reaching up to pull on it, he actually ends up looking pretty cool. So I can't really complain too much. It's more my preference. There's no real kibble on this guy. His transformation's interesting. It's simple, but it's also G1-esque and yet still kind of unique, which is always great. I don't have a whole lot more to say about this guy. I think he's a really good figure. I think Jazz is a better figure, probably because I actually find the character of Jazz bearable in the old cartoon. But if you see this guy, I'd pick him up. He's not all that common. I had to find him at Toys R Us, which I try not to shop at Toys R Us anymore recently because it's a lot more expensive than a Walmart or something. It really is. But yeah, I'd pick it up if I were you guys. It's standard deluxe price, about $12, which isn't bad, honestly, for a figure of this quality, and it is good quality. So, yeah. I just recommended that you buy Wheelie. I feel dirty. So for the 5 of you who don't know how big this mold is, here he is with some other figures. You've got a pony, another deluxe, and a Voyager. He scales pretty well, and I think he would really look good in anybody's collection. This has been Awesome John 22, and I will talk to you guys later.